Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Down to Earth podcast. Yes, I said it, Down to Earth.
With the two.
Podcast. I'm your first co-host, Demario Dale Crosby. It's your second co-host,
Jermaine Maximus.
Jermaine Maximus. Hope you guys are doing good this week. As you guys can see, first and foremost, we were in a different setting. We're actually, if we would look on the map, why is he playing?
Wow.
But yeah, so let's get right down to it. Let's start off how we usually start off. How's the week been for you, sir?
Good.
Okay.
I'm tired. I got a headache right now. We stayed up way too late on the game. I drank way too much.
What you was drinking?
Seltzers.
Number sugar.
Shout out Monster. They got some new seltzers. Throw us a little bread, you know.
Talk about a little bread.
No, but I didn't drink any water like these last 2 days.
Jeez.
And I'm feeling it now as I'm drinking coffee.
You got a cup. Oh, you going through it.
I had a water bottle too though.
But other than that, work was good.
Yeah,
Everything
work was
decent.
busy. Had a lot of closings. I was driving all over the state this week, racking up them miles.
Okay.
Ended the week in Orland though, so
Nice.
can't complain about that. What about you?
Gotcha. The week has been decent. It had its ups and downs this week as far as my habits go. I stopped kind of reading and stuff. And,
Stopped reading?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I read 3 books in a matter of probably a month or so, and then I stopped because I didn't have the book that I wanted. So that slowed down. Other than that, the game was decent. It was late. I'm tired too. We stayed up super
It's
late.
almost 6 a.m.
Yeah, low key. I haven't did that in a while.
And the
Stayed up
dog
just
was
talking.
barking at 8 o'clock. Dog was barking
He
for like
woo.
an hour straight. My head's rocking.
Shout out to Jeff, because he was at the game with us. So,
Yeah,
you know.
Your new stepfather.
What you mean by that?
That's his Xbox name. Shout out Jeff.
That sounded sick. But yeah,
Alright, man.
That's good. So I wanted to bring up something that happened this week with the with my sales stuff that I'm studying for and going through. Let me mute my phone real quick. But I lost confidence during a role play call with somebody. Just to kind of explain it, the people that I've been doing role plays with, it's been all just new people, and me being the more experienced one, and just not having too much of an expectation to go by. So I'm just.
So you're the top dog now, is what you're trying to say.
In those situations, technically I was the one labeled that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would do the role plays and stuff. I'd be like, man, I'm feeling good. I did get good grade on the role play. My confidence was up. But then I did a role play with this other dude. Everyone says this dude is a good person to do role plays with. So I'm like, I'm gonna hit him up instead of doing it with my original partner. I'm gonna go over there. So I hit him up, get him on the call, and dude, I messed up 2 times. Usually I can just go through the whole thing and I'm good. But he stumped me because he kept saying stuff that I'd never heard before. I was just like,
oh.
I was like, whoa. He said in the beginning, bro, I introduced myself, we were just build a little bit of rapport, we were just talking, and then he goes out of nowhere, instead of me having control of the call, he was just like, hey, I'm just here to get more information, but I'm not into making quick decisions, so I'm not gonna do that. And I'm just like what?
Okay.
And
I shut down before it even starts.
Correct. And I said something. I'm like, what do you mean by that? But that it just after I heard that, I felt just the confidence leave.
Like you weren't in control of the sales pitch.
And I was just I never heard that ever. So I was like, what do I do from here? And I asked them okay, what do you mean by that? But then I was just like, whoa. And I was just lost, and so I messed up, and I had to stop the recording because we have to record ourselves and send it in.
Right.
So I stopped, messed up. So then he was like, whatever, he gave me little pointers, and then the next one he did another prospect. And this prospect was just talking about nothing. And I had to be in control and stop it. But like I was trying not to be like too crazy and be like, hey, shut up. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I didn't know like when to like jump in. And I jumped in, but he just kept going. I'm just like, I was getting beat up, bro, for real. It was like a hammer just constantly. So I messed up then, and then I did the whole thing, and he like kind of toned it down. And he was just like, you just need more experience. And I'm like losing that confidence, I needed that one, but doing the role plays with the new people, like, I believe my shit didn't stink. It's a good way to like, put that. Then I'm just like,
That kind of brings up a good question that I just thought about. Would you rather constantly be winning, and maybe not necessarily the sales thing, but this goes for anything, video games, life, your sports, whatever. Would you rather constantly be the winner, but know in your mind that it's because your competition is nowhere near your level? Or would you constantly rather be losing, but always competing against the best of the best?
I would say the second one.
I think it's gonna be the same answer for both of us. I'm curious to see people out there that would say that they would rather just constantly get that feeling of winning.
Correct.
Because they would just be able to put that to the side of, well, it doesn't matter. I signed up for a competition
and I won.
A random amount of people came and whatever, and I won, and I constantly win, and I'm quote unquote the best in that aspect.
Thanks.
I think that's kind of like what that was. You're the best in that group, but if you're already better than everybody and they haven't really even been doing it, are you really getting anything out of it?
Are you really getting anything? So that's where the conclusion came in. So only reason this happened, I set it up with this dude, is because I'm hearing like stuff about him. But in the back of my head, I already told myself that, and like people were saying it in like the the little Discord. They're like, you need challenging people to like challenge you, whatever. So I was like, man, why don't I reach out and see? Like something in my mind told me to do that, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. Like, why not? And just see what happened. And I'm glad that it happened, because what I told him even after the whole thing, I'm like, I needed to be just like punched in the face kind of, and realize that it's levels to this, because like I can get really comfortable, and then let's say I graduate, go through all the stuff and everything, I get on the calls and they, what are you saying? Are you reading from it? And just make me look slow. Like my goal is to like get into it and dominate. Like, I don't want to get into it and then be, I never heard that before, so I don't know what you know what I'm saying? Or just coming off as I'm not in control of how things go. So I would say that I would definitely want to lose and get more knowledge and more experience, and then I can use that. I can win later. Yeah.
That's kind of like, I think that's a good thing towards like just the outlook on stuff too, because and I'll use your example of that small group that you were with that you just know that you were better than. It's like you're at the top of a mountain, but unless you actually look around and peer to see how many more mountains there are that are higher than that over in the valley, then you'll never actually see what that, the longevity of the best and the worst of the worst actually is. Because you could be at the top of the peak right here, but you're not even in the top 80%
of what's going
on.
That's facts.
Because that group that you could have been in, let's just say they are like the worst. Like you got paired with the worst people out of the 200 people that are in the call or whatever. And you're like, oh, I'm gassing you up. It's like, I'm the best, this and this. And then you find out that it was like, they're just naturally not good at it and they're wasting their own time. But then you peer out everywhere else, like you ended up, jumping ship to see somebody that's really good at what they do and realizing that like, damn, I'm not where I thought I was at all.
I'm not.
And that's a shot to the confidence. But I think that's also, once you get past that initial, damn, I kind of fucked up, I'm not as good as I thought I was, then you kind of just got to flip it and say, that's good though, because now that I've realized it, I can work towards getting say that next mountain, which would be, being able to beat that dude in that sales argument.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh, like what else is around there? And you're like, oh, what about the two people that own the company thing? Can I get on a sales call with them? Let's see what they got to bring to the table.
And they make me lose the confidence, whatever. But yeah, it's just a simple saying. There's levels to this, and like I said, it's not the point that these people were, I was better than these people, but they just got into the program, or they just.
So you're getting just a really
they don't know they don't know
sense of success.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Literally a false sense of success, and during the role plays during the coaching calls they'll pick people to do it.
Right.
I'd be shaking.
That's like, bro, we'll kill it when we're playing like a video game. I'll just use Fortnite for example, but say next weekend we join a slot in a legit tournament with semi-pro players.
Dominated.
It's gonna be like, why are we even doing this?
Why are we
Let's
here?
go back to playing against kids and beating them and feeling like we're the best.
Yeah, that's fact.
But that's for all aspects of life with everything, though.
Yeah, because like I can say that with even, I'll relate it to something else with eBay right now. Like, you know, eBay is like my main thing right now, and like I have to put my all into it. And you know, with you okay?
Yeah.
Just asking.
Excuse me.
What does he do? But with that, like, you know, right now I feel like I'm in a good place. Like I have confidence in like my eye now of like picking stuff out. Like usually I'm just picking whatever out that, like we said, it's an emotional like drive. Like the other day I saw some Wii like accessory equipment. Wii, the Nintendo Wii, not Wii. No. But I saw some accessories and I was like, wow, yeah, this is gonna be good. But I have an emotional connection to video games.
Right.
That's like even seeing video, like just individual video games. I'm not getting
or anything from our childhood.
I'm not,
like that Lightning McQueen. Like we saw Lightning McQueen car. We're like, oh, that's gonna be hot.
75. Right. That's $2.
If that, right?
So it's like, you know, but even the place I'm at right now, you know, I have to understand also that there's another level of looking at stuff. Like, yeah, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm having a sale a day or 2 sales, whatever. You know, I'm making good money right now.
But then you see these couple accounts we follow on TikTok,
and they busting out 6,000.
Right. And they got a whole office just for inventory that's constantly being rotated in and out with employees, and they know how to market and do that stuff. Like you're not even
I'm not doing marketing at all. And it's like I did a little bit on TikTok and stuff, but you know, I'm still not at that level. It's like I could do way more and be making crazier. You know what I'm saying? So it's just levels to it at the end of the day. But
and you know, I think that also goes in hand with like trying to do too much, which I feel like a lot of people might find themselves doing, like jumping, you know, in different stuff. They got their normal life that they live, work stuff, and then what they're trying to do outside of work. But man, and I catch that all the time too, because there's only so much hours. Like I want to play the poker, I want to make sure I get my video games in, I want to make sure I got time to read some books. I really want to start growing in the real estate industry. I really want the podcast to take off. But it's like I got all of these things floating around, and it's like everything until I'm actually good enough to prioritize for an extended period of time. I feel like unless you get lucky, none of those things are really going to get to what you want it to be. Like, you know, somebody could pick up the podcast and, you know, Barstool Sports is like, oh, we really love Down to Earth with Jeremy and DeMario. It's like, that's a home run. That's like winning the lottery. That just doesn't happen. Yeah. So I can see that. I think the timeline thing, and that kind of goes back to social media of you want everything now. Amazon gets you stuff now.
That's very
like, I want to be a professional poker player now. Why? I want the podcast to be making money now. Yeah. I want to be bringing in one real estate deal a week now. Yeah. But, you know, that's not realistic. Yeah. And going back to the confidence stuff, it's like if you see everybody in those fields, because on social media you're only seeing the best of the best, and you're not seeing the work that's put in, you just are always going to be comparing yourself to that, and they're so far ahead in their niche that they probably have already spent thousands of hours mastering that it's just like, is this even for me? No, I'm probably not even going to do this. Let's jump into the other thing. And then you're just constantly in this flow of, oh, let's do a couple weeks of poker. Oh, I'm feeling really good. Oh, but my real estate's not doing too good. Okay, I got to hop in that. And then you start to lose the poker skill. And then it's like, now I'm not doing any networking in real estate. Now I'm focusing on going professional in video games. And it's just that ever-ending cycle of not becoming successful in a bunch of different avenues that you're trying to, you know, go in.
So then would you say, like, let's just put it in perspective. Let's say you have like 3 things you want to do. Like I believe that 3 things minimum that I focus on is like enough for me personally, in the position that I'm in with as much time that I have like open. So do you believe if, let's say you have the poker, the real estate, and let's just say like reading and like learning, personal development, would you rather put, let's just say 30 minutes a day to each of those, or would you just say, I'm just going to put my all into one.
You
personally.
I'm starting to shift towards wanting to put my all into one. And getting something started, especially if the current goal right now is like the financial success of things. There's no need of me doing a half hour here, half hour there, and kind of prolonging all of that. I'd rather just, the smartest thing for me to do, which I'm not even doing, and it's always easier, to give advice than to take your own advice,
very true.
is if my full-time job is real estate and I'm meeting all of these connections and I'm having fun at work and I'm meeting people, why am I not just going all in, not necessarily on the career part, but trying to apply my realtor's license in all aspects of work and the people that I'm meeting to grow the business outside of the business for myself. That's the easy slam dunk. I'm already here 8 hours a day, making connections, meeting attorneys, realtors, people that don't like their current real estate agent that I could be jumping in and doing. And but I think my downfall with that is I'm doing real estate for 8 hours a day. Why do I want to keep doing more hours a day in the real estate? I kind of want a mental shift into something else, which is why then I go play my video games, I go play the poker, we do a little stuff for the podcast, stuff like that. So it's all mental games. But if I were to want to get to the fastest road to my form of success, it would be cutting video games, cutting poker stuff, and going, 6 months minimum all in on full-time, my 8 hours a day at work, and then transferring right into how can I build all of that into my own real estate portfolio.
Gotcha. I can see that.
But then at the same time, then I'm like, damn, I could just be, I could go do a 6-month trip in Vegas and see if I really am as good at poker as I thought, which is always in the back of my head, because I was going to do that pre-COVID. I was going to pay 6 months expenses right up front.
That's true.
Go there and just not have to worry about money, had the bankroll, everything. Let's see if I can make something happen.
Bankroll!
But then they closed the casino, so it wasn't like I missed out too much on that. Damn, I could have done this at home. So I still want to do that.
But
6 months straight.
Yeah, I think I'd be down to do that. But in my case, I would be doing it with my significant other.
Sure.
And see if that person was down to do that. Just move away from this for 6 months and let's just
focus on something.
But then, okay, so you wanted to talk about taking things for granted is kind of where you were going. So what did you mean by that? And just kind of explain on that, and I'll kind of, add some input.
I don't know. That was more of just on a human level of stuff.
Okay.
Like I brought it up, oh, I'm not going to be the best poker player. I'm not going to be the best real estate. I'm not going to be the best in that. But it's and then if that's getting you upset or depressed or all down and stuff, that's when you got to take a step back and realize how good you really have it. We have it good enough to where we can just constantly pick and choose these random things we want to do. We're waking up. There's no issue. There's no major issues in our world. There's nothing major going on with family members or friends or people that you care about. You're not homeless, running out of money, having to pay a bunch of stuff.
I mean, that's not funny, but I get it.
But that's what I mean. And so I think that's why it's really hard for me. I don't believe in bad days. But I believe that bad days are coming, personally, for me, because I realize and I can look at everything around in my life and be like, I really have no real problems. Sure, I might not have as much money as I want. Sure, I might not have the millions. I don't have the real estate stuff that I want. I don't, my small circle isn't as successful as they want to be or as that I want them to be. But if you break that down to just real life, bro, those aren't problems at all. There's nothing. There's always gas in my gas tank. There's always food in my stomach. I always have a bed to sleep in. So
I'm not.
I really put that on a big scale because, like I said, I wake up and even if you don't want to go to work and stuff, that's a good problem to have. You have a job.
That's very true.
You're not worried about what most other people are worried about. So I truly don't believe that I wake up every day and I try not to have bad days, because I think that it's disrespectful to everybody out there that is actually going through real shit. And I'm realistic to know that bad days are coming. People you care about are going to die. Situations are going to come up that you have no control over.
Correct. 100%.
There are going to be car accidents 100%. That, whatever, you're going to wake up one day, you might have sick or have a disease, something like that. So with taking that as deep as I possibly can to myself,
I believe that's a good perspective to have. That's always good to know that you don't have bad days and like telling yourself that, oh, today is just one of those days or something like that. But you tell yourself, hey, like, okay, if this is a challenging day or something, like that's even a little bit better. Like,
yeah,
you know, a little bit more empowering, I guess you can say. And then even for, I don't know, I guess I would say I've taken some things for granted, and I believe that you're not aware of when you take things for granted sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just think your shit doesn't stink. You love that. Heard Negan off Walking Dead say that.
I knew that's what you were going at.
Oh, let's talk about that. I just started the first episode of
Dead City?
Yeah. I was a little confused, but like I was like, okay, it's kind of decent, kind of solid. But anyway, to go back to what I was saying, you know, what was I saying?
Taking stuff for granted.
Just you never realize that you're taking stuff for granted. And I believe things happen so you can't have the realization of, damn, like I wasn't even like noticing this. Mm-hmm. Like I was just going through it every day. Or even the law of familiarity, right? You know, if you're around somebody 24/7, let's just go back to like how we was when like we lived together. Mm-hmm. Like we was around each other 24/7. So like we got used to that, and I don't know, maybe we was talking to each other like certain ways, whatever. What up, bitch?
Right.
I don't know, but like then once we split, we like, damn, bro, like that shit, we kind of miss it and shit like that, and like you just don't realize shit once shit's always the same, 24/7. Like I would say, me right now not having a job and shit, like I love where I'm at in this stage, but sometimes in the back of my head I'm like, damn, like the comfort I had, the security,
right, knowing that you're getting a paycheck and money's not an
and like I don't have to. I'm not gonna say I'm on autopilot. I'm not gonna disrespect anybody, but me personally, I was on autopilot. I don't have to worry about it.
Being on autopilot because you don't have anything to worry about when you're on autopilot.
It's not bad.
Bills are handled. You got your 24 hours a day. You know what you got to do at this time.
And you just do it. And it's already just, you're just going.
Yeah,
literally.
The pathway is set.
And like I would say, like for me personally, now I don't have a routine in place. I'm trying, but then I always go back to like an old routine of just like chilling or just being like, man, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I have those moments. I feel like this week was that moment of me going back to some old habits. And I'm just like, and I'm realizing it, and I'm just like, damn. But then I'm just like, but it feels good.
It feels good when you do that too long, and you don't have that typical pathway of work. So you can be like, damn, wait, that bill's due today?
So like I think a thing that I really need now is making sure I'm making weekly goals. Like, you know, I make monthly goals and stuff like that, but really capitalize on, okay, what I want to get done in this day. Okay, how was this day? And then, all right, let's do that again. Exactly that same exact way. Wake up at this time. That's what I don't have right now. It's just a certain wake up at this time. So I think I definitely took just the everyday lifestyle of having a job for granted. And I'm blessed to be in a position that I'm in because it's like I'm learning a lot and going through things, but I think I can.
You know, and it's crazy that we talked about this on like a couple episodes ago, but you know, you don't have a job, so you don't have to wake up and stuff, but you're doing everything, you think you're doing everything you can to benefit yourself and get to where you personally want to be successful. But if you're not working, you can't wake up for yourself at a certain time, but you have a job and you're going to make sure that you're waking up for that person and that company.
And that's a good, that's huge.
But when it comes to doing it for yourself,
it's
it's like not as important.
It's not important, which is like wild. Like,
and
why
I think
is that?
That's just like just a human thing of, like, you're doing something good for somebody else.
You'll be more
at the
motivated
baseline
to do,
level, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm like, you know, contributing to something bigger than myself.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to you, your personal self, you're like, oh, maybe Monday I'll start waking up at 6 a.m. These next couple days, I'm just gonna sleep in because it feels good. So
and it's like
that's something hard to break out of, though.
Exactly, but it's like
I think that's what separates a big part of the 99% of the 1%, though.
And that's what I think
being able to
too.
treat life as if you have a full-time job while you're trying to build stuff on your own.
Because I would say one thing is the employee mindset is a good mindset to have for sure. If like, okay, this has to get done, this has to get done, let's have everything already listed.
And you only have a certain amount of time to get it done. You only got those 8 hours of work days. You have a list of shit you have to get done. And people are so willing to, like, I'll do it all the time, skip my lunch break so I can make sure I get stuff done. But if it's Saturday and I got a lot of stuff I want to do, I'm going to Portillo's, sitting down for an hour and a half and enjoying it. Even if I got a lot of stuff to, but you know what I mean?
Pretty good steak, bean.
They don't have steak or bean burritos at Portillo's. But no, it's like, and that's hard for me to do too. Like I'll grind a bunch of stuff out on my computer when I'm doing like the real estate stuff at home.
Mm-hmm.
But like here, I'll just, at my job, I'll just get into like a whole zone of, damn, it's already 11 o'clock. I only got 6 more hours.
So now I
5 more hours. I
really
really got to grind. I'm not going to take lunch. I'm not really hungry. I'll throw some music on and boom, I'm in the zone. But you can't catch me doing that for 8 hours on a day I'm not working.
That's very true. Because that's that's a very...
I think your mind just tricks you into like, just relax,
Chill,
rejuvenate.
bro.
You're going to have a busy week again. You're going to have a busy week again. And next thing you know, it's 40 years later. You're still having busy weeks.
And I would say that's one of the hard things about, working trucking and having the weekends off, but then also still trying to do like the other stuff that I want to do, because the weekends are like
gold.
That's the most like perfect word that you can use for it, gold.
Yeah.
And what you want to do with gold?
You want to enjoy it.
You want to enjoy it to the T. So it's like I'm not about to put in all this work just to go back to work.
Right.
I'm gonna chill, watch a little TV, play a little game,
sleep, do nothing at all.
Sleep, just laid out. So
then it's always that Sunday night going into Monday morning.
Man.
I'm like, damn, I really didn't get anything done that I wanted to, and now I'm forced to have another 5 days. Forced to have another 5 days of doing the same stuff. Okay, that means I really have to make sure my next weekend I get all of this stuff done. Yeah. But then you're there and it's the same as the previous weekend. Oh, there's this party. Now you're hungover. Your day's shot, and then you're like, man, I only got 1 more day before I go to work. I just gotta relax. I just gotta relax.
This week.
But then Sunday night going into Monday, it's the same thing over and over again. And next thing you know, you're collecting pension at 70 years old.
That's facts. And that will bring us to our last point.
That we're going to Six Flags. Why?
I mean, we are going to Six Flags. That's why we're shooting here, and that's why we're actually shooting on a different day than we usually shoot. But to go into the other point,
he just wanted to tell.
I'm glad you said that though, because I did wanted to bring that up. But it goes into like preparing for things. One thing that sales, since I'm going all in on that right now. I mean, I've already been doing that with e-commerce. That's essentially what that is, sales and marketing. But with going all into that, and understanding the different components that go into it, you need to prepare like for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Objections. You need to prepare. Okay, if they say this, what am I going to say? You need to have literally a script of everything of like what you would say, so you can come off confident and like fast.
Mm-hmm.
So then that relates to another point with sports. You're not going to go into the playoffs without mentally preparing and like getting your A game to the a peak point. You know what I mean? Like you're just not going to do that. So I was like, wow, like, what if I prepare for the week that's coming up? But not, I prepare, but it's not no detailed prepare for the week, But
it could be anything from meal prepping for the whole week.
Anything.
Could take time away from not having to worry about what you're eating.
If you consistently did that, that's where the question is, how would life look? And I know what the answer is going to be.
I know what the answer is going to be.
It would look good,
yeah.
all that, but
you gotta have to do it.
You have to do it.
Process.
But that's one of the biggest takeaways that I took away from this. I need to be prepared for anything, because if I'm on a very important call, I need to close this very important sale, but I'm not prepared for anything that can happen.
But you could have been prepared for.
I could have.
That's a problem, because there's some things you'll run into you can't be prepared for.
100%.
And that's okay.
And that's life. That's what that is.
That's what separates winners from losers, is if you're prepared for everything that you can actually be prepared for.
That you can actually, yes, 100%. That you can actually be prepared for. Because you should be.
And it's the same thing with my closings, with the real estate stuff. So much stuff comes up at the table when the buyers and sellers are, when we're closing the transaction of you selling your $700,000 property to this other person, and all of this stuff is getting worked out, all the numbers and all that stuff. I have random tax questions, tax code, all that stuff.
That's very true.
Sometimes if I don't know, it's like I'm the person that's supposed to know.
Yeah, I'm supposed to bring that value to you. That's the service that I'm supposed to be bringing to you.
Like, oh, hey, can you change this? And it's like, if I don't even know how to change it, it's like, oh, let me call somebody to make that change. Well, then what the hell are you doing here?
Exactly.
Why are you here? Why can't I get somebody that, this is the biggest day of my life. I'm buying my first house ever.
The biggest day of my life.
And you don't know what's going on with the transaction.
And you're not prepared for me, bro?
When I could be prepared. I got a whole training manual in there that I could read and be the best of the best. But, some people don't want to.
That's a very good point.
Take those steps. But now if something comes up like, hey, it just ended up becoming under foreclosure yesterday, and we're on
Nothing you can do about
Title
that.
347, 16-811. It's like, oh, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Talk to my manager.
Yeah, and like situations like that is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly fine. Or like if something happens. Like the other day, I was helping my brother move in, and it was so nice outside. The next thing you know, it's pouring rain.
Yeah, you can't prepare for that.
Like there's nothing you can do. You just wait it out, whatever. So. There's definitely a thin line between that. I'm glad you said that because I didn't even think about that. But even just being prepared for things, I think is definitely the way to go, and that changed my mindset with a lot of stuff. It's like even with like we just talked about going to a Fortnite tournament.
Yeah,
I think if we actually prepared, and I think so.
I mean, how long do we get to prepare? 3 months?
Dude, if someone told us that we could enter a tournament, and if we came in at least third place, we get $50,000.
We're gonna get third place.
It's inevitable.
But you know what's crazy? So that right there
mm-hmm.
kind of goes to what we talk about all the time is seeing a guaranteed end goal.
I knew you was
gonna see that right there. Top 3,
yeah.
50K, guaranteed. There's no maybes.
Yeah.
Now you know how hard you would actually work to get there because you know what that is. But without seeing that final goal, it's so hard to want to prepare. Yeah. If that was the case, we're playing like fuck the real estate stuff for let's just say a month. Fuck that for a month. Fuck poker for a month. Fuck every other video game for a month. I'm cool missing a couple of podcast episodes if that's the case. And every day we're building in hours of getting better.
So how can we do this? How can we do that?
But that's only because that we see the end goal, a guaranteed end goal, top 3, $50,000 minimum. Okay. Where in the game of life and the process, you don't see any guarantees at all. You just have to kind of create it out of thin air and say, I just have to believe that if I continue to do this stuff for myself, that there will be gold in the pot at the end of the rainbow.
Facts. Big facts. That's good.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about now?
What?
Is that if we go on a roller coaster tomorrow and it crashes but we live, we might not have to worry about money ever again.
I mean, that's a valid point.
Because I got the attorneys lined up.
That's valid, but I ain't trying to do that. You feel? Definitely not trying to do that.
Oh,
yeah, man. Any last words?
No.
Good. All right.
My head hurts.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said again, we're about to go to Six Flags tomorrow, so that'll be lit. Maybe y'all see a little bit on Snapchat or something. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate that so much. Like, subscribe, comment if you can. If not, you guys have a wonderful week. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.